Chapter 8, Super Anonymous, Megan Mercury. Mysterious super kid saves home and family. Hardcastle. It had all the elements of a Hollywood movie: a runaway truck filled with highly explosive propane, a darkened home, and a sleeping family, completely unaware of the menace hurtling towards them, and a selfless young hero coming out of nowhere to risk life and limb to save the day, and just as suddenly as disappearing into the shadows. He could have been killed, that kid, marveled Stanley Kaminsky, the driver of the propane truck. That tanker had hit the house, kaboom. You always hear about these crazy heroes who put their lives on the line to save a bunch of total strangers, but you never expect to see it in real life. This is no regular kid. He's more like a super kid. Super kid. The word kept echoing in my head, usually in cheer form, since that was how my mind worked. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Super kid, super kid. Go super kid. Or maybe spell it out cheer. Give me an S, give me a U. My family didn't have any cheerleading positivity. My mom was freaking out. Our house was nearly destroyed, and us with it. We could have been killed if that truck exploded. Who knows how big the fire would have been? My kid brother Peter was crazy enough to think that the whole thing was a fabulous adventure. The town newspaper was paying him $200 for his pictures of the paint tank in the pool. When he said photo by Peter Mercury on the front page of the Hardcastle Post, he was running around the kitchen, punching the air and celebrating his newfound status as celebrity. My dad was the worst. He kept glancing out the front window, looking for the next propane truck with our name on it. He rarely made it through a single sentence without using some form of the word safe. Sue. Sorry, couldn't see it. But what would that have been the point of that? We were fine. The propane company was paying for the damage to the fence, the lawn, and the pool. Peter was even up $200. Talk about missing the point. Here was my family, obsessing over an explosion that never happened, a lawsuit that would never be filled, a photo credit in a dinky town newspaper that nobody even read. And all the while, they were ignoring the most important part of this. Somewhere out there was an unsung hero who'd save our house and maybe even our lives. This was huge. And we didn't have the faint ideas who it was. It was definitely a kid. According to Mr. Kaminsky, the driver, it was a boy around my age, middle school or maybe early high school. I thought a hashtag right away, because he lives just up the block and was such a great athlete. But hashtag always sleeps till noon on non-game weekends, and besides, his arm was injured. Plus, hashtag said it wasn't him. The only other clue was the chair, a metal folding chair at the bottom of our pool. But there weren't any fingerprints on it, which may or may not have been because it had been underwater. The police had no explanation for how it might have gotten there. At school, the buzz was all about the missing hero. Nothing ever happened in a boring town like Hardcastle, so a near disaster wasn't something that came along every day. And to that fact, that the almost victim was this popular head cheerleader, go me, and you had really big news. Throw a mystery in the mix, and nobody could even think about anything else. But surely you know who it is, Vanessa prompted me. Didn't you see him running away or something? I shook my head. The whole family was asleep. I heard a crash when it went through the fence and a splash when it hit the water. But by the time we ran outside, there was no one around but the driver. Zach Menish, one of the lacrosse players, was unimpressed. As far as I'm concerned, the guy's an idiot. He's got the chance to be famous, to get his name in the paper, maybe on TV, who knows? There might even be a reward. And what's he doing? Hiding like a scared rabbit. Maybe he thinks he'll get in trouble for putting the tanker in the pool, hashtag suggested. Are you kidding me? I shot back. Better in the pool than in the living room. There's no way this kid doesn't know what a great thing he did. You all saw what it said in the article in the Post. I must have read it at least 50 times. At the bottom of the page, the very last paragraph went like this. People are continuing the search for clues for the identity of this hero. He appears to have exited the scene by climbing over the fence into a neighbor's yard, but from there, the trail goes cold. If you're reading this, Super Kid, it's time for you to step forward and reveal yourself. A grateful public wants to thank you for your bravery. Maybe he's just shy, Vanessa suggested. He wasn't too shy to jump into a speeding truck, hashtag pointed out. Heroic instinct, I explained. If you're a hero, you just are. It doesn't matter what you're supposed to be, a mugging or running into a building burning to save people. I had the most authority to talk about heroism since I was the only kid in school who'd been saved by an actual hero. So why the disappearing act? Zane persisted. You guys don't get it, I told them. He's modest. Some people don't have to be celebrated for every good deed. A true super kid just helping out is thanks enough. Why was it so hard for people to imagine a genuine good Samaritan in our midst? I must have had that conversation, or one just like it 10 times that day. Even the teachers were fascinated, thinking about this amazing hero. It might be someone they saw every day in one of their classes. Not to be negative, but middle school was filled with a lot of dimwits who never thought beyond their next hot dog, video game, or shade of lip gloss. The idea that any one of us might turn out to be the super kid was pretty exciting for the faculty, too. The only person who had no interest in the mystery was the guy who might as well been from Mars. Yes, Noah was still on the cheerleading squad, sad to say. Miss Torres was sticking her decision not to let me kick him off. I was starting to think that she was doing it on purpose, a test of my positivity. Believe me, any cheerleader who could smile through Noah's performances, could make it through Noah's performances, could smile through a killer tornado. At practice that day, we were stretching, and Noah was doing his regular whatever he did, a cross between knee bends and the death throes of stick insect that's been run over by a bike. He heard us talking about the super kid and went even paler than usual. What's wrong, Noah? Asked Kelsey Levelhull. His lips pinched together and turned dead white, as if he ran from the boys' locker room like the police were after him. Wow, I commented, frowning. If I'd had known it was that easy to get rid of him, I would have had my house blown up weeks ago. Some of the girls thought I was kidding.